And we're live at the Reinventing the Tattoo community. You can download the app in either the stores or go to community.reinventingthetattoo.com to catch all the information. This is the hashtag Reinventing Drawing Group Monday morning edition with Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Network. And basically, we'll be beaming in with artists and drawing and talking about tattoos and other topics. While we are streaming out amongst the different networks, we've got some Facebook action and YouTube and whatnot. I'm going to talk about the upcoming schedule and then thank our sponsors. And let's see how this is rolling here. We've got the Tattoo Television YouTube, the Tattoo Now YouTube, and the Fireside Tattoo Network YouTube. Let's see if they're going. And the Fireside Tattoo, oh yeah, look at that. Okay. On the Facebooks, we've got the tattoos.com Facebook, the tattooeducation.com Facebook, Tattoo Now Facebook, Guy Aitchison Facebook. Okay, looks like all the Facebooks are out there. So let me see if I can remember all of the upcoming events in memory. Oh wait, so now's a good time to share this around if you are so inclined. And please leave us a note in the chat room or on the comments and where you're beaming in from, how you found out about this. And okay, so this is the Monday morning 9 o'clock group draw, and we do this every Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning with Jake. At noon on Mondays, we have Let's Talk Tattoo with Mark from Needlejig, Mark Lascarbo. And every Monday night, we have Guy Aitchison leads a Reinventing the Tattoo curriculum canon subscriber activity. And this is part of the Reinventing the Tattoo. If you go to reinventingthetattoo.com, you can subscribe. It's a yearly fee. It's pretty reasonable for, you know, not only the weekly exercises that are exclusive to the members, but there's the whole Reinventing the Tattoo curriculum. There's tons of chapters and information. There's videos. Guy's an amazing, it's actually a great video editor too. So he's got like infographics and the new videos and whatnot. It's not just a bunch of videos. It's you know, it's way better than anything you're going to find on YouTube. Anyways, Reinventing the Tattoo subscribers, Monday nights, they've been working on elements and whatnot. That's every Monday at 9 o'clock at night. Let's see, this is the holiday week, so we are actually a little late. We usually on Thursdays at noon is the Tattoo Collecting Podcast. January is the next time that they're going to be doing that live. But you can check out all the replays, tattoocollecting.com. That's Thursdays at noon. Let's see, we do art jams often on Friday nights, also on Sunday nights. Let's see, Sundays, okay, we've got Sunday at noon is another Reinventing Drawing Group for artists that have Sunday afternoons off. It's also better timed for, it's not better timed for Europe. Europe's great for this one too. That one's led by Jason Lesser from Philly, and we just ran it for the first time this Sunday. It was awesome. You can catch the replays on all of these if you go to the YouTubes and do a search for it. What else? Sunday night art jams, the bio art, let's see. Oh no, the first ever like bio collab event is gonna be pretty awesome. It's happening on the 27th. That's next Sunday. The last art jam was last night with Nick Baxter, and he went through a landscape, and it was a pretty amazing crew that beamed in. You can again check out the replay on the YouTubes, right? Or sorry, just go straight to the app. All of the replays are on the Reinventing the Tattoo app. And okay, so this is going. Sponsors, thank you very much for the sponsors that make sure that these are going out for free for you. Inkjet Stencils is has a digital setup, or they have a printer setup that's, for one, it's continuous ink, so it's more eco-friendly. You don't have to keep tossing cartridges. But yeah, you manipulate your images on the computer, and you can print out the stencils right from the printer. If you go to the Reinventing app and do a search for Andre Malcolm, he's got a video of him printing out a back piece pretty much on an oversized printer, one stencil. It's pretty awesome. Inkjetstencils.com. And then Cheyenne Tattoo, for the new year, we're going to be giving away a tattoo machine. If you head over to tattooeducation.com/giveaway, and you're a tattooer, let us know what studio you're in and whatnot. It's a vetting form. Then you will be entered in to win that tattoo machine that we will, like I said, we'll be picking up before the new year. Okay, I think that is everything, and I think everything is working awesome. So I'm going to pass it over to Jake and only pop back in with some comments from the chat room and whatnot. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And thanks again, Jake, for heading this up and making this happen bright and early every Monday morning.
Absolutely, man. It's fun. It like holds me accountable, gets me going on Monday. Somebody jump in and draw with me. I'm sitting here drawing by myself for the first time today. I want to do that. Hey everybody. I don't know how many folks we have on right now, but I, for the first time in this series, actually have a secondary camera, so you don't have to look at my face the whole time. So I'm just gonna jump straight in and show you what I'm working on. I was trying to think if I had any real announcements from the fireside world, and not a ton. We do have an actual podcast interview coming out this Wednesday. It's like our first interview podcast in several months. Since COVID, we've just struggled to. I'm not crazy about Zoom interviews, even though I'm doing this each morning, so I haven't been scheduling a lot of interviews. But this one was kind of important. Aaron Delavadova and the folks over at Guru Tattoo in San Diego, just a stacked crew of artists, have I don't know how many of them are involved with this, but they've started an organization called PACT, and it's the Professional Alliance of California Tattooers. And I sat down with Alex Eubank, who's kind of the digital media guy, does a lot of stuff for Guru. And we just sat down and talked about what it was, why it was important, why it might be important for other states and not just California. And it's basically just trying to get a seat at the table in the legislature, whatever, at the state level. And it happened due to COVID and all of the tattoo shops being lumped in. Basically, I don't want to give too much away because you should watch the interview, but all the tattoo shops being lumped in with like amusement parks for reopening rather than being lumped with salons or something like that. And it essentially came down to the fact that they just didn't have any voice at the table to speak on their behalf. And that's the way that stuff unfortunately gets done a lot. So I'll leave it at that. Let me get to drawing. So that's going to come out Wednesday. I've got another 3 minutes of better tattooing episode coming out the first next week about using white ink in your gray wash and why you might do that. So that'll be a cool one. Let me see if this look at that.
Yeah, sweet. Cool. Well, we've got some comments in here. Let's see. Genevieve says greetings from Chicago. Yeah. Jimmy's beaming in from Indianapolis. Tet Wee says thanks for the shares, sir. Pablo Andres is from Costa Rica, or tuning in from Costa Rica. We've got David Rodriguez from Mexico. Salud. Allison is in London. And if you're interested in beaming in, then let us know in the chat rooms and we can get you the link if you're drawing.
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be awesome. Well, if you guys watched last week, I was just starting to block this in. Unfortunately, I haven't made a ton of progress. I had well, there's no excuse. I should have been working on it all last week and I didn't. So I'll show you kind of what I have here. I've got a little bit of a challenging cover up project. Let me just take everything down and show you what I actually have. I always drop the opacity of my underlying photo, but every once in a while it's important to bring it back up and see just how dark this stuff actually is. Did I draw some of that? See, wrong layer. I live on the wrong layer. I drew some stuff.
While you're getting that, we also have Kevin Van Klarveren says hi, peace. Carl Halpin says big fan of Jake, happy to share his knowledge, and seems real down to earth. Thanks for all the tips and secrets. Do we let him know that it's all a charade and you're really not that down to earth?
That's fair. I'm pretty fake. Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. We enjoy putting these things out. So I've got accidentally drew on the underlying layer, so I can't get rid of some of that in my original sketch. But I've got this kind of tattoo that's in about the worst place you can put it to have a cover up, and it's also scarred. It's raised. It's dark. I've desaturated the photo, but it has a lot of old orange and yellow. And my challenge is he wants to cover it with black and gray, which, we're going to have to use some opaque grays or something to knock that back. There's not a ton of orange and yellow, but there's enough that it's going to be distracting if I try to do it in gray wash. And then you can't really see it, but on this back side of his arm, over here, his name and like some type of script goes all the way down the back of his arm. So that's got to be addressed too. So, so what we decided, we've done a big back piece on him, and the back piece is kind of this transition that we'll tie this sleeve to a sleeve we're going to do on the other side. And this guy's overcome some trouble in his life, some pretty serious trouble. And this side, this arm is going to represent the kind of troubled past. And then the back piece, which is finished, you can find it on my Instagram. It's kind of a father time piece. It's like the passage of time, and then the left arm is going to be like rebirth. It's going to be more about his family and his new life. So it's a pretty common theme. One thing that I did, and I'm going to try to pull across all the way. Yes, I could pull up the actual. I don't want to take the time to pull up the back piece. The back piece is a Father Time kind of thing, but it's got a tree that canopies across his upper back, which is another cover up. And the tree starts very barren on this side of his body, so the tree's almost dead. And then as it crosses his back, foliage starts to pop out just a little at a time, little tufts at first, and then into a full canopy of foliage on his opposite shoulder. And so I'm going to try to pull that tree down the back of his arm here and let it assist me in the cover up of the text that goes down the back of his arm. And then you can see as I pull my sketch back up here. I'll just take a stab on what's what. As I pull my sketch back up here, where is it? Okay, oh, that's real messy. I'm gonna do kind of a serpent with a dark serpent with a white bird trying to escape, and the serpent's kind of holding him down. That was my kind of idea of hope trying to rise, or this rebirth trying to escape the clutches of this kind of dark force or whatever. So my plan is for this here to sit on his inner bicep facing forward, and use the body of the snake as best I can for this cover up. And then the bird will be super light, and I'm hoping that I can everybody see this all right? Let me know if this is Gabe, let me know if this is like super small or something, but the bird will I'll have one wing, I think, kind of whipping up and out this way that might drop onto the front of his deltoid and maybe even onto his chest slightly. And then another wing that kind of probably will get, this wing I won't be able to do much with because I'm gonna have that big cover up in the back. So I'll have to find a way to handle that as this kind of evolves. And I just kind of started sketching this in this morning. I was thinking maybe the bird fighting back, I could pull a couple of his talons over and in front and maybe use the line, these big heavy lines on the bottom of these flames. Maybe I can grab one of those to be like part of my, like the edge of my talon, and then have it almost like puncturing the skin of the snake. That was something I just kind of dropped in this morning, so probably the angle might be wrong. And then at the bottom, trying to have like some tail feathers. That bird is abnormally long. If I zoom out here, let's see. If I zoom out here, the bird is like, the proportions of the bird really don't make any sense, but I think there's enough going on that won't be, it's going to be more about the dark and light shapes. So I'm hoping that's not too distracting. What I've been doing lately, where is this? Let's see, I've got this one layer that is like my, that I've been doing. I got this from, there you go. I got this from Andy Chambers. We've been doing that. If you guys have been watching this morning thing, we've just wrapped up our Find Your Style illustrative tattooing workshop, which kind of turned into an advanced sleeve design workshop. And I learned a ton, but I really learned the value of actually measuring people and using the templates correctly. Before I was doing digital drawing, I bought rolls of tracing paper like everyone else, and I taped them to the person, and I like marked the top of their, the bone on the top of their shoulder, and I marked their, marked their armpits, and I marked the elbow and the ditch and all that kind of stuff. But I never did it that well, where it was just kind of a general kind of space. Andy has taught me a way to do it, and then how to think about it whenever it's flattened out like this, to make sure that things sit the way that they should, and taking into account the vantage point that the viewer would most likely have, which I don't want to go too far into that, but I've been using this kind of template thing a lot more. And it also helps me remember. You can kind of see here, like I'll do a little dip here and then another dip here to remind myself that whatever is right here is also actually right here. And so then this has to relate to this in some way. And a lot of times when we're designing sleeves, we end up kind of with this area on the back of the arm that we don't really know what to do with. And it's not really seen all that much anyways. So a lot of times we're able to cheat it, but you don't really have to cheat it. There's a way that we could plan for it, and actually lock those shapes together. So that's still nobody's in here helping me draw, huh? That's cool.
Well, there's a lot of people watching and a bunch of questions, and so yeah, anybody that's watching and interested, let us know. So Patrick Boothman is tuning in from West Wales. He was at the couple of these streams recently.
Sweet.
Let's see. Adam Joseph says, "What sort of tablet are you using? It looks huge."
It's huge, yeah. This is the Wacom Cintiq 27-inch tablet. I've had it for several years. It's super cool. Can you guys see? It's got this this little magnetic remote. I'll just unplug it for a second. This little remote is like a hotkey. Okay, like a hotkey kind of remote. You program these to anything you want, so I can zoom in and out with this little thing, and I can assign all these keys. And it's basically a magnet. It just drops wherever I want it to on the screen. I keep it over on this side, or not on the screen. It's got to be off to the side of the screen, so it'll hold over there. But I love it. I've been using it. For several years. Actually, Russ Abbott introduced me to it. I went and tattooed at his shop at Ink and Dagger, I don't know, years ago. And it's when he was really first going deep into digital drawing, and he had one of these at his station, in his tattoo room, and I just sat and played with it for an hour or so. It was an older version of this, but on that one, the keys were actually like embedded into the monitor here. But essentially, it's just an external monitor. It's running off my MacBook. I'm just running Photoshop on it, but it's great. I love it. I like it more. It's kind of there are pros and cons to this and to the iPad. Like with Procreate, there's so many new tools, and you can like record stuff as you're drawing it, and I can grab it and turn my sheet of paper on Procreate. I can't do that on this. I intentionally got the non-touch screen. I was told they make this in a touch screen, but everyone that I talked to about it said that they keep their touch screen off, that it's always, when they put their palm down, it's always jumping around. So I didn't buy the touchscreen version. This thing was probably a couple $1,000s. I think the touchscreen was an extra $500. So it saved me some money, and I don't really have any use for it because I can kind of zoom in and out with all the hotkey stuff. So.
Cool. Let's see. Nichols Jonathan from the Fireside Tattoo Facebook says, love these podcasts and improvements in the industry and how we are starting to come together as one industry, not a million individuals.
Yeah, man. Good point. Thanks for watching on Fireside Facebook. There's never been a more neglected Facebook page in history than the Fireside Facebook page. Gabe might be able to speak to that too. We've really been making an effort to just to figure out. I mean, so many of us have common ideas on what we are looking for out of not looking for out of the industry, but what we hope to share and like contribute to tattooers. And Guy with reinventing was obviously like everyone else, was a huge inspiration on me. That book changed my world. I've told the story before. I'll never forget the first time I ever saw a Guy Aitchison tattoo in person. Randy Muller, who, if you guys don't know him, he's great tattooers, and he's out of New Orleans area. Eye Candy, I guess he's still there. I haven't talked to him in years, but he was doing a guest spot at the shop that I was working at, and he drove straight from Chicago back when Guy was there, like an 8-hour drive to Memphis, and got there as we were closing at the shop tonight. And Guy had done this, like, it was on his outer calf, and it was a skull cave. It was like a cave there was a skull with a mouth open, And he had done it in all of these like whites and ochres with this dark saturated background, and the texture and stuff was so great. It was by far the best tattoo I had ever seen in my life, and I couldn't even believe that it was real. And from that point on, I was just like, man, I got to pay attention to that guy. He knows something I don't, and so it's awesome to be able to like collaborate and try to combine forces a little bit, and share more, reach more people, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he's got a pretty awesome vision for what he's got going on. So we have Jerry Magni. Sorry about my pronunciation. Tuning in from Italy, I believe.
Oh, nice. Sweet. That's awesome to have so many folks from the other side of the pond on. Get,
Jerry's got a Marcus Leonard sleeve, I believe.
yeah. Yeah. What a unique style of bio or whatever you want to call it that Marcus does. I love it all so much. He's one of my favorite. He's been on the show. I think he's only been on the show once, but we did some stuff. Gabe uh, with the virtual gathering. We were on like a discussion panel together, and every time I hear Marcus talk, I learn something new. He's a very thoughtful, intelligent guy, and an awesome tattoo.
Yeah, wicked geeky, wicked smart.
Yeah. Oh, that's where we first met. We on a drunk critique when we were, and I think I had enough to drink that I don't remember, but I think that we must have gotten into a small argument or something because the next morning all my social media stuff was kind of blown up with whatever argument it might have been, and then Marcus reached out and said, "Hey, sorry, sometimes I get mouthy when I'm drinking or something like that." And I was like, "Man, I must have been really drunk because I don't remember that discussion." Who's jumped in? I just noticed we got a third person.
Yes, this is Jerry. Does your microphone work, Jerry? No. It seems like you have a microphone here, but we're not hearing nothing. Okay, let's see. So Kevin Van Claveren says, "Hey Jake, a question. What are the best perspective lines for the arm / placements?"
Okay, I'll tell you the way that I've been trying to think of it is trying to kind of choosing and like I'm stealing all this from Andy Chambers. He really has changed my thought process on this a lot. Choosing a horizon line. So and this is a way, especially for illustrative style tattooing, when you're using imagery that doesn't really belong together, but you want to make it believable, like it exists in the same world. Let me grab a bright color. So what I might do is choose like a point, say right here. That's going to be my invented kind of horizon line, and to me, it should kind of be something where people naturally that would be, I probably would put my horizon line way down here because most of the time people are looking down at your forearm. They're not looking straight on at it. So I typically will try to put it at least mid arm or up. And everything from here up, I'm kind of looking up at, and everything from here down, I'm kind of looking down at. So I know if I need a bird and I need a snake, and I'm looking for reference, for example, I want to be looking for reference where I'm looking up at the bird, and I want to be looking for reference where I'm looking down at the snake. So that it makes sense with the horizon line that I've invented. And then as I'm drawing these, the body of the snake, this is kind of straight on, but here you can see I'm kind of looking down at this part of the body, and I'm looking up, at this part of the body. And so that's like the most basic part of it. And then there's we could go all day about how people actually do tattoos, but that's the simplest way as far as perspective lines. Simplest way to explain it, and it works great because it lets you kind of like, what I like to do is I don't go look for the reference first. I draw the basic shape of the creature first. Like I know that a bird is going to be something like this, and I knew that I kind of wanted to be looking up at it, so its eye might be, I like draw just the simple oval of that, and then the oval of the body, and then I know like, okay, this is kind of what I know that I want to be looking up at that. I didn't pick a very good color for this, did I? I'm looking at my shared screen. Zoom in. And then, as it goes down here, I know that I probably want the head of that snake, to be where I'm looking down at it. So I'll kind of think about the basic shapes that make that up, and I'll block them in where they are, and then I'll go search for the reference. That way I'm not like a slave to my reference. I'm just using it as a basic, just to make sure that I don't completely forget what that type of bird looks like, or, what the shape of the snake's head is, or where its eye sits, that kind of stuff. All right. See there? We're going to do fireside shirts that say, "We live on the wrong layer. I'm always on the wrong layer."
Mine are going to say press record. Okay, so let's see. Sam Sigler says, "Good morning, guys. How is everyone doing?" So I guess this is a good time to retest Jerry's microphone, maybe.
All right.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great.
Hear you. What are you working on this morning?
Well, it's not morning here; it's afternoon, and I'm just starting. Since the last lockdown, I started to. I went back from the basics, and I restarted studying anatomy. From all the books that I have are 15 books, and I studied the first 4, and I have a few more to study. And so I decided to, yes, study anatomy from the basics, because since I stopped doing comics in the late 90s, early 2000s, I lost the capacity to draw the human figure easily. As long as I'm doing tattoos, I detach myself from drawing human figures every day. So every year I feel that it's harder and harder to have the same flow that I had before. So I decided to study anatomy again, but probably better than I studied when I was in school. Also because when you are in school, probably you do, I don't know, maybe 100 hours in 4 years of anatomy, but of course it's practice, practice, practice. And since I don't have the chance to practice on the human figure every day, I decided to spend this time to study. And so I'm studying this book from Bridgman that is great. And as more as I draw and as more as I study his way of working, I find my way to reward the human figure, and I get a better flow in my drawing. And so this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah. You said it was is it Bridgman?
Yes, Bridgman.
Yeah. I've never studied Bridgman, but I follow another YouTube channel, Stan Procopinko. It's proco.com, a huge drawing channel, and he has a whole series on how to study Bridgman. And I remember I haven't watched it, but I remember going past it on his page and going like, "Wow, what an interesting way! Like way to title a series of videos, How to Study Bridgman." What is it? Do you have the book in front of you? Can you hold any of it up? What is it what's unique about the way that he lays stuff out?
Sorry, I didn't.
What's unique about the way that Bridgman draws or presents drawing the figure? Do you know, as opposed to if you take another basic anatomy?
Well, I started from the mechanics, from the very basics, the architecture of the body, so all the proportions and the proportion between the head and the arm or the entire body. How much does it change the the dimension of the head between various aids of a body and stuff like that. Very, very mechanical. Bridgman is more pictorial. I don't know, more painterly. He doesn't start the figure, the anatomy figure from an architectural point of view. It doesn't start like doing, I don't know, they taught me when I was in school, start from the torso, when you have the proportion of the torso. He's working more with lines, more as he's painting on paper. And that's quite interesting because it's not accurate, because his design is not accurate, but it gives you the chance to not just study the human figure and the proportion and so on, and without having the need of okay, the torso is so tall, then I have to do the leg this tall and so on. It's more about perception, more about the feeling, and gives you the chance to speed up the process without losing yourself too much in oh my god, I did the torso too small, too big, the leg is short. Yeah, it's more painterly. And probably I would suggest to study Bridgman after someone got the initial part.
Yeah.
And what I mean is the right proportion, more mechanical stuff. And then it's easier to study Bridgman. Also because when you study Bridgman, exactly because it doesn't, of course it take care about the proportion, but of course his sketches are more loose. So if you don't have the basics, probably you risk to get it wrong. And when you draw, if you get something wrong, the danger that you repeat the same error over and over again is quite high. So, but yeah, I like it because it's easy. It takes not much time, and I'm learning a lot. Like how to speed up my process, how to start from a very loose sketch and get into more detail later. Because since I was in school, I was used to work more on the details, detail by detail, and building up my figure. With Bridgman, I'm refreshing that way of working more loose and set up my entire sketch and then go to fix everything, all the details and so on.
Cool. Hey, sorry, Jake, real quick. Let me just hop in real quick about with some comments. You're using the Wacom Cintiq, is that?
Yes.
Yeah. And then let's see. So on Guy's Facebook, there's a fair amount of action. And just want to let everyone know that Guy usually beams in to these, although I know that it was a late night pack in his bio books last night. And there was also a Baxter paint jam that went on for a late. But anyways, so let's see. So Beth Friedman is beaming in from New Jersey. Jason says hello from Michigan. Sean's beaming in from Texas. Ashley from Knoxville, Tennessee. Susanna from Marana Grande, Portugal. We've got Clint says, Guy, the godfather of biomech tattoos, how's it going? Sorry, he'll hopefully beam in and let you know. Otherwise, you can catch up with him tonight at the reinventing. Joaco says, excelente. Paul Kelly says, watching from Ireland. Johnny Thurman is in Cape G, Missouri, I think, MO. And then we've got Paul Kelly who says, hi, Jake and the gang. That's a tough one as cover-ups go. Good work concept for the cover. What computer or pad are you using? We've talked about that. And what program? I've only evolved to Procreate thus far.
Yeah, nothing wrong with Procreate. There's really a lot about Procreate that I like better than Photoshop. I just like the size of this tablet is basically the reason. And actually, I laid all this out in Procreate so that I'm not just back here in a corner in my studio all the time. I draw in Photoshop. I draw in Procreate on the iPad until I get to this point so that I can actually sit with my family and watch TV and stuff rather than be back here by myself. And there's a lot about it that I like. I'll tell you one thing that's way better with Cintiq, the styluses. These are so much better than the Apple pencils. You don't have to charge them or anything. Why Apple made a pencil that you had to charge is beyond me. This thing has been around for I don't know how long. Like these styluses have got to be 15 years old. I don't know, and they never need to charge.
It's patented.
Oh, is that what it is?
I'm sure. Hey Jerry, is there any way that you could turn down your light a little bit? It's blasting on the book. It's just like whenever you.
Yeah, I don't know how to do it. Let's see. Well, I have to remove.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
I see a little bit of the sleeve from Marcus. That looks awesome. How old is that?
It's okay, like this.
That's better. Yes.
Okay.
How old is the sleeve you have from Marcus Leonard?
My sleeve?
Yeah.
Oh, this is, we started in 2015, I think, and so it's 3 or 4 years old since the last session.
Are you finished or?
Well, we finished the arm, and we finished also the leg, and we had in program to start with the torso, and then the COVID came out. So
Yeah.
so we started.
Awesome.
And that's
I love
Yeah.
the tattoos look on, those designs look on the hand. They're so good.
Patrick
Yeah.
is asking, hi Jerry, what is the name of the Bridgman book you are working from?
Well, the one that I'm working now is the life drawing. But I don't, to be honest, I don't like really much this one. Well, it's interesting, but it's just about how turning and twisting the human figure, the rhythm that is really, I don't know, I think it's more something like a marketing thing where you just exercise if you already know Bridgman and stuff like that. But I don't like it very much. There is another one that I prefer that is called the Human Machine, and also another one that could be interesting, but I didn't start yet to study, is this one, Heads, and the Book of 100 Ants. But probably I think that the best way to approach Bridgman is starting from this one that is a good collection, and also for the money it is pretty much, it contains pretty much everything that Bridgman did. Let's call it the best of. This is the best of Bridgman.
Awesome.
Yeah, I need that. I'm glad that you mentioned that, because I remember whenever Proco did that series, it was something I made a note to myself to watch, and I never did. I've never studied Bridgman at all, but I'm always looking to be a better figure drawer. And before COVID, I used to do these weekly kind of figure drawing sessions where like 4 or 5 folks would go together and just hire a model every Wednesday night, Monday or Wednesday night, and I always was so intimidated about how well I was going to be able to see the figure and like get it down on paper. We would mostly do it with charcoal, get it down on paper. We'd do, like 2-minute poses and 5-minute poses, and then, maybe a 20-minute and then like a long pose. And it's like, not that it was ever a competition, but sometimes I felt like I just fumbled to even get like the figure placed the right way on the page, the proportions, light source, all that stuff kind of blocked in. And if I lucked into it early enough, I could make a nice drawing for the night. If not, I would just fumble all night long. And so I'm always looking to become a better figure drawer, especially for life.
Drawing for life, it's quite difficult. I don't remember the last time probably when I was in school and we had a model. But yeah, drawing from life is quite difficult.
Yeah.
Probably it's less. In my memory, it's less difficult than trying to draw the human figure from a picture, because the human mind and the human eye is more, I don't know how to say, you have that kind of tridimensional view of your model. It's a little bit easier than try to, well, I don't know, it's not easier, it's different, but you get a different view of your model than watching a picture. Also because the picture involves all the distortion that a camera can have, and you don't have the same kind of distortion when you are watching something live. So but probably to start studying anatomy would be better. It could be better starting from Hogarth or even Loomis. Loomis is, I think, has a better way to construct the human figure from the basics than Bridgman. I think that Bridgman is something that can come later in a more advanced stage. Before, I think that Loomis probably is a good compromise between the, let's call it, mechanical study of the anatomy and the artistic way of doing it. Yeah. I think that Loomis is better than Bridgman. Bridgman would would eventually come later, probably, in my point of view. But of course, it's
I still, the Loomis head method is the method I still use to lay out heads, whether I'm inventing them or drawing, from life or photos or anything else. It's really deliberate and easy, and you can visualize it instantly just by you in the first few circles first few marks that you make. That's really, really a great way to draw heads. Back to your point, the difference in drawing from life and drawing from a photo. One is that the camera flattens out your shadow shapes and simplifies a lot of the problems. There's so much information in shadows, and that's really what it comes down to in my mind. The thing that I struggle with drawing from life is that is what to include and what to exclude, and cameras do a lot of that work for you. And then also just having the edges of a picture plane makes all the difference in the world. Whenever you're like drawing from a photograph or drawing from something that has boundaries. When you put a person in the middle of the room and you have to define those boundaries on your own, and there are tools for that. You can use the viewfinders or whatever, but that's one thing that is overwhelming at the start of every drawing with me. It's like, where does the figure sit? And if the camera has already solved that problem for you, that's a lot of the work.
Yeah, probably you're right, but it's I don't know. I think it's less. It's less in the. It makes the artwork less interesting. Mm-hmm. It's nowadays you can see, even in the tattoo world, everything is so photographic and so, I don't know. It's a little bit cold. It takes off a little bit of feeling of artistry. I don't know. I feel it's cold. Mm-hmm. That's how I would call the art lately, or not just in the tattoo industry, because of course sometimes someone, I don't remember who said, but I can understand in the arts that new concepts came out because, of course, since the photography came into play, there was no more needs of the artist to reproduce reality. There was the photography to do that, and so the art moved to another level, like conceptual arts and all that stuff. And so in the tattoo industry, it makes sense because, of course, you cannot put a picture on your body. You have to reproduce the picture. But still, when I see all that stuff, so I don't know, there's no style. Even in the comics lately, I see a lot of comic artists that are using a lot of pictures to do their work. And when they do that, there's, I don't know, it's like if there is the we are missing the soul of the artist. I don't know if I'm explaining myself decently about this.
I think a perfect example of what you're describing is as amazing as the realism in tattooing is today. People who are doing like true realism on the highest level. When I look at it, I mean, I can't do it. It's impressive. But look at the edges. Look at how they're placed typically on the body. They're just kind of like stuck on a panel of skin. They kind of fall out at the edges of what the picture would normally be. They don't typically interact with tattoos around them. They don't interact with they don't respond to the area of the body that they're on. They're just like these like perfectly photographed stickers that are stuck on people. And to me, it's incredibly like uninteresting. It's impressive. The skill level is impressive, but I can't imagine that I would ever want to wear one, even from the highest level people. And I think that's kind of what you're talking about with losing the soul of what we're doing here.
Well, if I think about tattooing and realistic stuff, sometimes I think, okay, that's great technique, and it reproduced the picture very well. But I mean, when I get fat or skinnier or old and my skin will decay eventually, how my tattoo will be then? Because if I have a biomechanical, a tribal, let's call it an abstract decoration, probably if I get fat or skinnier or old, or my skin will get old and will, I don't know, I don't even know if decay is the right word. Well, I think it will be great anyway. But if you have a, I don't know, a beautiful face and the skin in that point start to change, that face would be still a great tattoo to look at. I mean, I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, good point.
I think it's a bit of it's trendy. I understand. A few years ago, I was telling to a client that portrays the new tribal because it was so I don't know. It was everywhere.
Right.
So real cool, or not real quick, but we're going to add Patrick in here for last 10 minutes or so. We've got some comments. Shane Downing says, "Hey there." Jose Murphy says, "Been watching your channel." This is on the Fireside Tattoo Network YouTube channel. Says, "Been watching your channel for a few years. Really loving your new content. I have been tattooing for 2 years now. Just curious if you would do a tattoo critique style video where we send in our work." And before I pass it to Jake, I would be remiss not to plug Drunk Critique. There are also sober critiques that happen sometimes. In the Reinventing the Tattoo app, guys often critiquing tattoos and exercises, and I'm sure that during some of Jake's courses, he's doing critiques, and I'll let him answer the question now.
Yeah, you know, like I used to, I made, it wasn't a mistake, but when we first started our channel, we used to tell people, you know, episodes to sit there working, and we would critique it. Now, at that time, we were getting maybe 40 or 50 views per podcast, and we had like 200 subscribers. Then, as the years went on, that changed. Now it is nearly impossible to keep up with comments and stuff. I can't do it. But what we've been thinking about doing is we've been using a Discord server through for our Find Your Style groups. Which has been pretty cool. I've been thinking about, or I haven't even think about, we've actually pulled the trigger on it. Allie, my assistant, has been going through and pulling interesting questions, comments, things like that. And we're just grabbing them at random, and I'm going to answer them on that Discord channel just to keep it a little bit separate from YouTube. I'm trying to keep the YouTube stuff fairly clean and consistent. So yeah, I think that critiques will be something we could start doing on that Discord server. And then that server, if you guys have ever used Discord, I'm kind of new to it. I think it was set up for gaming, but basically it works like Slack or anything else where you can have different channels for different topics, different tags, so that if you just want to know about critiques, or if you just want to know about a certain aspect of whatever we're doing, you can just use that tag, and everything tagged like that will pull up. So I'm hoping I was going to try to build a small library first, so that and not send people to a Discord server that had nothing on it. So my plan is to maybe take the next month and record 8 or 10 of those little episodes where I'm just answering questions and doing little critiques, and then make it public so that people actually have something to watch when we go there. Is that how you would do it, Gabe?
Oh, sorry. I was listening. We're all about the Discord and whatnot, and I, you know what? That's crazy. I felt like I was listening to you up until you said, "Is that what I mean, Gabe?" or whatever. What was that?
As far as the way to, like, when you're trying to launch a new whatever platform, or trying to build a Discord server, I don't want to send people to a server that doesn't really have much content on it yet. So I was thinking about just kind of front loading it and not even letting people know that we were putting it out there. And just if we're going to answer viewer questions on it or do critiques on it, get 8 or 10 of those episodes set up on those channels. Or if we're going to have, say, like Million, who's sometimes on this, was doing some, he's a Procreate junkie, knows like all the digital tools, and starting a digital tool channel, inviting other people who are knowledgeable to like build those little stations up. But what I was asking is, do you think the best way to do that is to build a bank of content, get it on there, and then announce it to people, or announce it on the front end and have them kind of help to contribute to build it?
Yeah, well, probably a little bit of both, right? If you have like a month's worth of, you know, I don't know, whatever the pace is going to be, 1 video a week, 2 videos a week, you know, it feels like, you know, a half a dozen pieces of content for people to kind of go back to, and then, but really it is about the new consistent quality. And if people get used to, you know, so I would, you know, if you have 10 pieces of content, you know, I might put 4 to 6 up in the archive, and then just start releasing, you know, on the schedule, and then trying to keep up so that, you know, again, you know, people ultimately end up going to the places that have, you know, new content, right? And, you know, and ultimately all the feeds, you know, they're trying to get you not only the new content, but the new content that, you know, you're going to want to get more of. And when you're not on your phone, you're like, you know, I'm wondering if, you know, such and such uploaded to the Discord, or if they uploaded to Reinventing, or if they uploaded to the, you know, wherever they're uploading to. So yeah, so I guess the answer to that is a little bit of both. You want to have a little bit of an archive, although part of it is, right, with all of this content, you know, it's hard to get to the archive, you know. And I was recently on a Facebook ad, kind of a mastermind kind of a group, and it was like they did the live things a couple times, and you know, all of the streams were there, you know, to watch. There's just so fucking many of them. It's like, you know, so people end up catching the live new stuff. I don't know. But so anyways, point being, yeah, I would make a small little archive so that when people discover, they can go back to. But ultimately, it's the you know, with everything, that's the human algorithm is, you know, new high quality content regularly, you know, predictably.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
I think. And then you could look at my YouTube channel and be like, Gabe, how come you're inconsistent?
Do as I say, as I do.
Okay, let's see. Another question here would be, Giovanni, for a tattoo like this, how many sessions would it take?
For my tattoo?
I believe that's for you, Jake, yeah.
Yeah, because it's a cover up. I mean, if there weren't a cover up here, I could do in black and gray. I could probably do this in. I work in 6-hour segments. I work from noon till 6 on just one piece a day, and it would probably, let's see, to get it really rendered fully in black and gray. If there were no cover up, I could do it in 4. It's probably going to take me 6 because I'm going to have to use some opaque grays. There's just no way I'm going to get rid of this underlying tattoo. As heavy and scarred and stuff as it is, and especially with it having mainly nothing to do with heavy and scarred. That's not true. I could cover it black and gray if it were just heavy and scarred. It's because it already has existing color, and even though that color is light, I'm going to see it, and I know that orange and stuff is going to pop through, and it's in such a weird, funky placement. It takes up such an important part of the arm that I'm going to have to layer it. So I would say 6-hour sessions.
Sweet. Let's see. Atomic Injections 47 says good morning, and I want to think that Atomic was here yesterday for Nick's, but there's so many streams that they all kind of blur together. But welcome back, Atomic.
Yeah, welcome back. Yeah, I'm definitely not the fastest tattooer. I tattoo. I was just actually I was on Instagram this morning and saw a piece that my buddy Ty Pilata had blocked in. He did all the line work. Actually, he's using the Carson Hill's new Numa, and Carson posted it. It was like, Ty's super efficient with the Numa. This is his first sitting, and he had lined and done all of the black work on a full sleeve in one sitting. And it just reminded me. I tattoo with Ty. We travel together a decent amount and share booth space. And I always feel like the biggest, or like a turd whenever I tattoo with him, because like he's lined a whole sleeve and I'm still working on a hand, and I've still got 4 hours left on. And he's just like blowing past me. I'm so slow, and then he's so fast.
It's just fun. When Nick was on, he was talking a little bit about, about the using the new Numas, and it's worth plugging the interview that he did on the Fireside Tattoo Network podcast.
That's a great one. It's long, and I think because of the length of it, some people were intimidated. You don't have to watch it on YouTube. You can go to any of the, for the interview podcast, you don't have to go to YouTube. You can go to iTunes or Pandora or Spotify, any of the wherever you listen to podcasts, you can do that. But Carson and Ty, actually, I got Ty Pilata on that episode. He's kind of a, if you guys watch Fireside, you know Ty. He does the machine reviews and stuff. He's a real kind of weird head, and they got deep into machine technology and how ink gets in the skin and all that kind of stuff. It was an awesome interview, but it's like 2 hours long.
So Vohi says, I love the idea, but it's too hard to see what you're working on. So we could do maybe a little bit of a highlight. We're in the last 5 minutes, so we can go through. Also have Quentin was asking about, hey Gabe, when is Reinventing app dropping for the Android? I got the link. It should be in the Android store. If you're searching for it and you can't find it, it's just a matter of, I guess, propagating. We will get some quick, easy links up at reinventingthetattoo.com/app at some point. I thought I did it, but then when I checked it out, it didn't seem to work. So, okay, let me.
I'm going to zoom. Can you see this any better? It's for people who came in late. This is the tattoo reveal.
Let's see. Add spotlight.
Earlier, I kind of drew on the base layer that those more sketch that's on top of it, but super dark. He saturated it, but it's orange and yellow. It says no regret, but he does have one regret.
I've often thought about an apprentice flash sheet where first you do the lettering of the I love whoever. But then you kind of make the lettering style set up so that the cover up kind of, you have like the forest scene with a bear on top, already the cover up already kind of prepared, right along with the,
Right. It's a good idea.
Okay, looks like Quentin found the app in the Google store. I had to click on the new in the search for the apps. So cool. Well, that means that we're going to have to finish off, some of the final tidbits and get it set up so that people can actually refer the hell out of it and then review it. So that we want to get a little bit of that new energy action. But awesome, cool. So, yeah, Jake, want to finish talking about your piece? Sorry to interrupt.
No, I was just going to say I've been using that app. Gabe was nice enough to give me a beta test of it, so I've been using it for quite a few months now. I guess I don't know how long. But it's super cool, and it's one of the few apps that I leave my notifications on for, because like anytime someone there are different like communities within the app itself. So whatever you're kind of paying attention to, it's cool to know that Guy's about to go live, or like last night it notified me that Nick was about to go live, and and people will share. It works. It's like a great little hybrid of social media and YouTube kind of content stuff all together. It's gonna be awesome. The more people jump in and use it.
Yeah, and they're actively finishing off connecting the new online learning platforms. So as opposed to just having groups and collections of webinars, we have the full-on courses with lessons and with chapters and lessons, and the lessons could be all sorts of multimedia, including of course the videos, but also including the live streams. And guys definitely focusing for the next couple of weeks. He's kind of cleared some of his schedule off specifically to kind of go after and pay attention to every nook and cranny, so that by it's obviously it's live now and people are using it and referring it, but come mid-January we'll be having like an official relaunch party. And actually I'm pretty excited. I was emailing some talent today, and we're hoping to we already have our headliner kind of with a deposit down. Just need to find some dates. And
wait, I missed that. Headliner for what?
For like a big party, relaunch party, come mid-January. We'll try to make a mega art night where we have all the reinventing community and or just artists in general doing the largest art party online Zoom that I don't know. Mostly we're gonna just do a reinventing, relaunch party so that we could do a really cool art jam with some amazing artists joining. I mean,
Yeah.
we already have a lot of amazing artists joining, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, we should do some podcasting during it too.
Oh yeah, we might be. Oh, I wonder if we should do like a. I guess we should do like a 6-hour marathon or telethon or some sort of.
Yeah, cool.
It would be very exciting to kind of have, the app out and being used, and mostly it's about the onboarding. So at this point, I'm pretty happy with everything. I just need to set it up so that when people join, they get a nice little tour of the app and some explanations of how to use some of the features that might not be as obvious as we would like. But yeah, cool. So it's 10 o'clock. If let's see, let me spotlight Jerry next, and then we'll bring in Patrick, and then looks like Jason Leeser is going to hop on real quick.
All right.
Jerry, spotlight for everyone. So Jerry, I don't know if you could move your phone so we could see what you're sketching on.
Yes, let me see. Okay. Can you see? I don't know if it's right or reversed.
Yeah, let's see here.
Yeah, those are really nice, man.
Yeah, cool.
Really aggressive, gestural. Well,
No, that's it's all the work that I'm.
yeah.
As you can see, it's Bridgman is it teaches you how to get the human figure in a very quick way. Well, this is all the part, and of course, and also the great thing. Can you see? Because it's reversed, and I cannot see what I'm showing you right now.
Yeah, we can see. We can see one. We can see the left page better than the right. Oh, those are great. Nice.
Yeah, it's great, and also, well, this is the third sketchbook that I'm filling with anatomical studies. So I think I will be better than when I finished the school after I will finish all my study, because I love to draw human figures, and also how to speed up the process. And when you're able to draw the human figure, I think you're able to do almost anything, because the human figure is so full of different details, different textures, different shapes, hard and soft and pointy. There's really everything in that, and I think it's pretty great.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are really nice.
Yeah, it's great. It's great for people to see, kind of the dedication and that's necessary here. Patrick, I am going to spotlight you. Boom.
Yeah. What's up, Patrick?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you perfectly.
Oh, awesome. Brilliant. Okie doke. So I was drawing last night, and I was just sort of messing around with a drawing exercise to produce like a lollipop shaped image with some sort of cloud around the top. So last night I had something, I'm turning it around, I don't know whether that's the right sort of way around. I ended up with this butterfly net and some sort of swarm, and eventually that turned into a butterfly, set of butterflies. I was thinking, okay, tidy it up a bit. And so I ended up with a sort of cutesy image. And okay, so it was kind of cute, but it wasn't actually doing anything. There was no like tension between any of the parts. They're just flowing nicely together, and it was just a bit sort of sterile and boring. So I went out for a bike ride and sort of thinking about it, and I was thinking, well, the thing is the butterflies could actually get right inside that net, but they're not doing so. So the idea of actually having some tension between the size of the butterflies and the actual net itself, and then instead of the net being the thing that's going to capture the butterfly, like twist it all around. So like make the butterflies sort of larger and have them sort of attacking the net. So make them bigger and also more sort of less symmetrical to these, and sort of start having them actually attacking this rather sad looking net. So I've tried to like make the net a bit more human. It's got 2 eyes there and a bit of a sad face there going on, but then also like the faces of the butterflies as well. I don't know how I'm going to do it, if at all, but the idea is that the actual head of a butterfly then becomes like a sort of human sort of skull that's attacking and nibbling into the actual stem of this rather sad looking butterfly net. So that's sort of where it's going. Using a lot of reference from what's it called, Google or what have you, just to sort of get the idea of like what a butterfly looks like from the side, because I've no idea. I can't sort of go out and capture one anytime soon. Not over in West Wales anyway. So yeah, that's what's happening now. So sort of blocking in the areas, thinking about perspective and like the number of butterflies. So I sort of thought, okay, get it. So it's so I thought 7 was always a good number to go with, and have them overpowering the net itself. So that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, awesome. I love it. Yeah, I always odd numbers too. I always go in 3s, 5s, 7s, and most everything.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then Jason, do you want to show us what you're working on? Just as we know. Oh, actually, SJ in the chat room says, "Hey everyone, a 6-hour telethon would be so awesome." Are the virtual tattoo gatherings still going on? Actually, we're kind of doing this with that tattoo gathering energy, or the virtual tattoo gathering energy. I'm sure that it. Yeah, I mean, basically we're just working on all sorts of events for reinventing. Doing one stream at a time, a couple times a day, regularly, is actually we get more of an effect as opposed to having like 12 streams going on at the same time. But I'm sure that we'll do some pretty big virtual events in the future. As soon as now that we have the app out and about, it's kind of like having our framework down, so that once these events are going off like clockwork, then we get to do the the fun extras.
Yeah. SJ, you need to jump on and draw with us on these things sometime instead of just watching. And I miss you. SJ is part of our Find Your Style beta group. We just wrapped up last week. Well, we have one final. Everyone in a month, everyone's going to show their final designs actually stenciled on a real human being. They have to. The trick is for tattooers to find other people who don't have full sleeves already, so we can see the stencils. But such a great group, man. Such an awesome group of people. And I'm already bummed that we're not doing one tonight. We'll start another one soon.
Well, you'll have to join the reinventing
I think she's
group instead, right?
I think she's a reinventing member. I think we talked about it.
She is, yeah. Let's see.
Probably. Oh, Jason.
Oh yeah. So, Jason, you want to show us
sure.
what you're working on? Plug the replay for Sundays and the upcoming Sunday.
Yep, Sundays at 1:00. I do something kind of similar to this. Yesterday's was pretty interesting. We had people coming in from a lot of people from the UK, a lot of people from all over. Just getting together, hanging out, drawing, working on different stuff. Guys stopped by. That was pretty cool. Had some pretty cool people. Patrick was there. It was a good time. Real good time.
I didn't realize you guys were doing that. I guess I just was oblivious, not paying attention, but I'm going to jump in. Wait, it's Sundays at what time?
1:00.
1 o'clock Eastern?
Yep.
Sweet.
And Fawn beamed in while she was tattooing. So I think she was tattooing some armpits, maybe, and it worked out perfect. Her mic worked fine. And
yeah, I think.
I guess they were filming a
about 3
rap video or
hours.
some sort of music video there, and that was fun.
Sweet. Cool. All right. I'm 10 minutes past. The strong isn't getting any better. So I'm going to go to the gym, get my workout in, and come back and fix it. That's my plan. So wish me luck.
Good luck, man.
And everyone, I enjoyed it. Always a good time. That's a good way to get my week kicked off, doing some work. So good luck. Hope everyone has a good week. Happy holiday, all that kind of stuff. And we do have an interview, if you guys didn't hear, coming out Wednesday with Alex Eubank of Guru Tattoo. It's our first interview in a long time. I'm a little rusty, but it turns out to be a good one. Alex carries me through it. So see you guys later.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Thanks again, Jake.
Thank you.
And
Great.
I'll keep the stream going until maybe quarter after, another 5 minutes. And if anybody's in the chat room has any questions, or Jerry, we could see your sketchbook right now. Whatever you did for the lighting is perfect.
Thank you. I'm just copying, basically, trying to understand how, because after a while, when you do so many figures, you get into the way of drawing of an artist. Is like, well, I remember once Marcus told me, we were talking about signatures and stuff like that, and he said to me, it's not a new concept, but anyway, he told me, if you want to, if you're looking for your signature, you just take a sketchbook and fill it with your signature, and at the end you will have your real signature. And I think it's I don't think, I'm pretty sure it's the same with the drawing. As much as you study something, just study, and you find your way, and at some point you don't even become the copy of another artist if you copy him. You just understand how he moves, and probably you find also the mistake that he does. I'm, as I told you before, this is my 4th book that I'm studying from Bridgman, and it took me 4 books before I understood what was the error that Bridgman does, like the space between the torso and the pelvis is always too short, and the legs are too short in Bridgman. But I had to fill 3 sketchbooks before I realized what was not working in his work, and how I could do it better, for me at least. So yeah, I think it's great to study as much as you can, whenever you can. And it's also easy, because when you have to study, you don't need to come up with an idea, what I will draw now, a human figure, but what it does, what's the posture and whatever. It's easy, but you keep practicing and you get better, and it fills your brain with a lot of ideas, and also concepts, especially when you study. I would suggest to study not just the figure, but also the concepts and also the names, like in this case for human anatomy, because you exercise yourself in 3 ways: visually, manually, and psychologically, and that stuff will stay with you forever. So yeah, I think that's great.
It's fun, Jerry, that you're so digital oriented, but obviously also so, real world, tactile, disciplined.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm digital, but to be honest, this kind of exercise, if there's something good in this hateful lockdown, is that I decided that I wanted to go back on paper, because there was a need, and also it's I don't know, it's different. I feel like if I'm working only on digital, it I don't know, it takes away something, even my capacity to draw. I don't know how to explain. So yeah, I think that
We were actually
I
having the
think
same
that I'm
discussion.
getting better just doing this. Well, maybe not better, but I'm getting back some of the talent that I lost working digitally so much. So
That was a topic of discussion during yesterday's drawing group, believe it or not, was, you know, what is the primary difference and do you lose something when you go from analog to digital? And how does that really affect, you know, just the artist? That was in the, I want to say like the first 20 or 30 minutes of yesterday's drawing group. And it's something I'm pretty passionate about because I try to straddle the line between both. You know, I try to work and do a lot of composition, a lot of digital layout, a lot of digital just design elements, even a few mock-ups digitally. But when it comes down to actually producing artwork, if I can't do it analog, I don't want to do it digital. You know, because I feel like there's something that gets lost in translation between sitting down with an actual pencil and a piece of paper or a brush and a canvas. To me, there's something that gets lost. And
yeah, I
think
agree.
what it ends up being is those minor imperfections that you get when you create something analog. You know, you get those wide pencil strokes, you get, you know, all of the tiny little details that might not be exactly 100% perfect, but that's what helps make it that work of art.
Yeah, I agree. It's like when you go to, I don't know, to an art show, an exhibition, there is a difference between looking at a sketch or a painting and looking at a print. There's, I don't know, I think that the soul is, soul of the artist is the thing that is missing. And sorry. And also, with I think is like working on digital is cool because of course you don't have to fill your desk with a lot of colors, brushes and stuff, and everything is in your digital tool, and you can start whenever you want, save time and whatever. But yeah, it's like when you go on internet looking for something because you don't remember something, and so you Google it and you say, okay, I got it. This is the information that I was looking for. And it's the illusion of knowing something, because it's like you going on Google is like looking for a tennis racket. I don't know if it's the name. If you find the tennis racket in a room, it doesn't mean that you're a champion. And when you work on digital, well, the comparison is quite it's quite strange, but anyway, it's like you know, in your mind, you know, you can go back. On paper, you know, you cannot go back. And so it's like if your brain is retained something more.
I can see that.
It's yeah, it's like reading a book or studying a book and Googling an information on the internet. It's different. And also you lose the soul. Of course, this is just an opinion. I could be wrong.
Hey,
But yeah,
I'm of the same opinion. I agree. So you don't have to, you know, you don't have to defend that with me. I completely and totally agree. That soul does get lost. You know, and that's why I try to work in both analog mediums and digital mediums.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
oh, I was going to say, Jerry, you want to wrap up some thoughts, and then we'll let people know how to find you, and then yeah, people
Well,
can
I just
come
wanted
back.
to add another thing about working digitally, and the point that when you work only digitally, at some point you lose something. You lose even your skill a little bit, because you have the chance to go back over and over again. And when I was working only digitally, at some point when I started to work on paper, I felt strange, because I couldn't go back. And as soon as I did a mistake, I was looking for the keyboard, and it was strange, like if I was addicted, and I couldn't go back. And so, just to make a point about what I was telling you before, about the fact that you lose something when you work only digitally. Sorry.
Oh, no worries at all. Again, thanks again for everybody for tuning in and beaming in. It's always fun to do these drawing groups. If you have been following along, it's hashtag, I don't know why I put that in quotes, it's hashtag reinventing drawing group. And we're always excited to see the work that people are doing. And you've heard us probably talk about it a million times, but this is beaming through the Reinventing the Tattoo community. And while we're on the Facebooks and on the YouTubes and all that, and you can always search us in the Googles, if you go to the app stores or to the website, then that's the best place to always connect and get the up-to-date schedule. So that's Reinventing the Tattoo in the app stores, and reinventingthetattoo.com for the website. And if you are a tattooer or an apprentice, you should definitely consider subscribing. It's a pretty modest price for the amount of access you get to Guy and his crew of amazing artists and mentors and teachers. So if you are a subscriber, we'll see you tonight at 9 o'clock for the next subscribers exercise. And I believe the next stream for now is Mark from Needlejig is going to do an impromptu stream Q&A, so we'll see how that rolls. It's always a fun surprise. And yeah, awesome. Well, thanks again, everybody, and we'll catch up next time.
Thanks to you.
Good.